Political implications, a lot of information, some food for thought. It's going to be really serious. And I had this reference book that I really wanted. I needed to go over part of it and get part of the background for my talk, and the man didn't bring it back when he thought he was going to bring it back. So at the last minute I said, what do I like to talk about? What am I kind of good at, and what do I really enjoy? Photography. I could talk about it all day. Is my time up yet?
You got a bit longer.
I'd like to make one serious point about photography and explain something that half the people don't understand, and explain it the way that it makes sense to me. The f-stop, F15, F8, F3.5, all these things, we have some idea that it's important. The f-stop is from the end of the lens to wherever it used to be film, but now it's electronic sensor, where it is. And this, if it's about 4 inches. Okay, think of the f as fraction. F4 is 1/4. F8 is 1/8. F16 is 1/16. So if it's a F8, it's about 1/8 of the distance across here. Visualize there'll be a hole inside of here, 1/2 inch. Just a little hole, about what did I say, 1/2 inch away. At F4, 1/4, it'll be 1 inch in diameter. The reason for that is the bigger holes let in a lot more light. And sometimes you need that when it's dark, and you also need it for special reasons, for different focusing ranges and that. But that's okay. A couple of things I've learned that have been taught along the way. One time we did took a whole set of school photos in Santa Rosa, out in a Redwood Park. And fortunately, we got there in the late afternoon, and there was about 40 kids from Croatia, and they're all there in an exchange group, and I took photos. And somebody told me first, one of the things, if you're taking a photo of a woman, kind of make her do this a little bit, raise her shoulder and look coy or flirtatious. For a man, have him look, strong, this sort of way. And then take an angle photo, whether or not his head is at an angle or looking into the camera. And it really worked. It really worked, those little things, yeah. Now, another point I want to make is something that I have done a lot of times, taking photos. I've seen it done a lot. It really disappoints people. Say you want to take a nice photo of your boyfriend or girlfriend or spouse or your grandchild that you're not seeing very often. Watch the background. Don't just be in such a hurry to get the photo, but watch the background. Because half the time when you're outside, not half the time, but maybe a quarter of the time, you'll take the photo and it's one-dimensional instead of two. And how'd that tree start growing out of her head? Or inside, how's that lamp, why is that lamp sticking out of his head? Because it looks just like it. So watch what's going on in the background. And I see people sometimes are out taking photos like this and kind of moving around, taking photos like that. It's not going to, well, it might work. I won't say it won't, but tuck it in. Tuck in. Hold the camera like so, left hand or dominant hand here, so you can hold it up and keep it stabilized. If you can lean against something, all much better. And this is the best thing if you have a tripod, great. But this is the thing to keep it from moving around, to keep the photo a lot sharper. So remember that bit. Sometimes, and if you do have the other tricks, you can you can attach a string to the bottom. There's the hole for the tripod screw, and put it down and step on it and kind of pull up on it, all that sort of thing. And if we're out, a couple things. If we're out taking sunsets, like nobody can resist it. Eventually, the most jaded photographer still takes sunsets. They'll admit it. So, if you're looking at the sunset and you immediately look at it, if you have a digital camera and it gives you immediately feedback. If it doesn't look like the sunset looks like, something's a little wrong, and try to immediately correct it. Your chances are, if it's a little washed out, there's too much light. You have several adjustments in your camera. Even the most simple digital cameras have several adjustments, so you can allow less light, make it darker, and all your colors will pop out. And generally, colors do really pop out with color anyway. And the last thing I want to say is have fun, have an adventure. And as an illustration, my wife and I were traveling in Mexico, going down the Baja, and about 300 miles from the end, we're a long ways from a garage, we're a long ways from more than a village. I kept looking at this beautiful sunset and all the silhouettes of this saguaro cactus out there. Man, but there are some electric lines or telephone lines running across. Didn't want them, so there's a road to pull off. Pulled off down the road and got to a good place, got out of the car, both of us clicking away, making pictures. And I heard this sound, rump, rump, rump. I'm like, this is 200 miles from anywhere. Why is the Mexican out here trying to start up his chainsaw in the dark? And my wife looks over and said, Darryl, what's that? And I looked at it. To me, it looked like a small bull. To her later, it looked like a lion. I said, get in the car. As soon as she was safely in the car, I jumped around the car, got in it, started up, and started backing up, and I flipped on the headlights. It was this huge boar, wild boar. And they get up to 550 kilometers, or kilograms rather, which is about 1,200 pounds. It can get huge. It was like 3 feet high. And I had visions of it, wrecking my car, digging into it and so on. So I took up, well, why didn't I just take an instant in the headlights, take a couple pictures? Been fascinating. I thank you for this. I enjoyed this a whole lot more than you wish, and I don't really have good closing. Have fun, whatever. Thank you.